In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to find the inverses of cube roots. So let's take a look at what we have here. F negative 1 of x means that is the inverse notation, or that we have found the inverse of an equation. So our steps are pretty simple. We're simply going to rewrite f of x equals with y equals, and then we switch x and y in the equation and solve for y. Let's take a look at a couple of examples here. So we want to find the inverse given the equation, the cube root of x minus 1 plus 7. So step 1 is rewrite the equation. And you can really skip this step. If you know that this right here is the y variable, then you can go ahead and just switch x and y. But for this example, we're just going to rewrite it. Now we're ready to switch x and y. So now we have x equals the cube root of y minus 1 plus 7. And so these are really simple. I like to call the square root symbol right here, I like to call that the house. And so it's very simple. If 7 is positive and it's outside the house, that means we're going to make 7 negative and we're going to put it inside of a house. If negative 1 right here is inside of the house, we want to take the opposite of negative 1 and make it positive 1, and it's going to be outside of the house. If you go back up to your notes here, these are opposites. So if I am doing the opposite of cube rooting, I'm going to cube. How do you cube? That means you're going to create a house to the third power. So let's take a look at how this works. We're going to solve this equation, and then you'll see that the opposites will occur. So let's do the opposite of plus 7. We start with add and subtract. We're going to subtract 7 to the other side. Now we say, what is the opposite of cube rooting? We are going to cube, or to the third power, both sides. The house on the right goes away. Now we're ready to take it one more step. What is the opposite of subtracting 1? We are going to add 1 to the other side. Plus 1 equals, and this is the inverse. And we can write it like that because I know without a doubt this is a function. Now let's look at what happened here. Let's go back up to the original problem. Notice that positive 7 is on the outside. It's now negative and on the inside of the opposite house, which is to the third power. Notice minus 1 is on the inside of the house. It is now plus 1 on the outside of the house. So let's look at our second example here. Actually, let's do this. Let's look at the graphing method. How would this look using the graphing method? Let me clean this up here. We are going to type in our answer choices, and we're going to add something else. We are going to add something called the line of reflection, which is y equals x. So the first thing I want to do is type in y equals x. Then I type in my original equation. And then I'm typing in my answer, the inverse. And I'm looking for a diagonal reflection across that red line, y equals x. And you can see that what I have in blue and what I have in green are diagonally reflected across that line, y equals x. So you can graph these as well. If you don't, for example, let's say you had something that looked like this, plus 33. See, that is not a reflection, the green and the blue. If I change that back to plus 1, 1, now you can see the diagonal reflection.